Oh.
Here we are, the wild moose. What's that? Get over here, you lousy Drango. That's our explorer's word of the day. Drango means fool. Explorers, we will be back to interview Brother Vic after a word from our sponsors.
Brothers and sisters from around the world, have I got an offer for you. I, Vic Arguello, have crosses in all shapes and sizes. Just for you.
Large crosses!
Small crosses. Medium-sized crosses?
Arguello.
Please, call me Vic.
Okay. So, Brother Vic, would you explain to us what a hermit does? I've always wanted to meet one of you, so I had my crew tackle you.
I understand. A hermit is somebody who lives in an isolated life in order to more heavily focus on their prayer with God. The Catholic Church describes the job as the Christian faithful that devote their life to the praise of God and the salvation of the world through stricter withdrawal from the world. In essence, a hermit is somebody who locks themselves away from the world to more heavily focus on their lives with God and be observed to have an approved way of living under the bishop.
How do you help others if you just sit at home all day?
Well, I carve crosses for the diocese gift shop. You can also see a lot of my crosses in churches around town. I also have a lot of people coming for spiritual guidance who need help with suicide or other things like that. I come up with a lot of wisdom for people from praying all day.
Mm-hmm. What does your schedule look like? What is a day in the life of Vic Arguello?
Well, for a modern hermit's daily jobs include a 4 a.m. wake-up, prayer from 5 to 6 a.m., daily mass in the local parish at 7 a.m., then breakfast and spiritual reading and meeting with people who request an appointment for guidance. Noon prayer and lunch, and then from 1 to 5, reading my emails, praying and eating dinner at 5:30, and then at night at 7 p.m., I pray, and then I go to sleep at 8 p.m. The schedule is meant to provide stability for your vocation, but also be flexible in running errands, having doctor's appointments, and tasks around the hermitage. In regards to other people, of course I like others, but I feel most at home with just me and God. Hermits are not misanthropes. We just prefer to be with God. The parish.
So, Vic, what was your life like before Catholicism?
Well, as a young boy growing up in Italy, I worshipped terrible pagan gods in my basement. For many years I prayed to them, but no response or fulfillment. Priests took me in and sent me to a Catholic boarding school. My parish was St. John the Baptist, who was an inspirational hermit. I read up on him and I decided to follow his path. Jesus, who was also a hermit for 40 days, inspired me too. I prayed to them to stop my father, the Brickishaw Arguello, who wandered into my room in a drunken stupor and beat me. When I grew older, I started reading more about God and Catholicism. I started watching Catholic videos from my long-lost cousin's YouTube channel, Mr. Arguello. I even started listening to Lecrae songs. I told my parents I wanted to convert, but they did not let me. I ran away from home to the nearby parish.
Come back. So, what's the process to become a hermit?
Well, with Canon 603, it allows women and men who were previously hermits without religious affiliation to be accepted by bishops in their diocese. Seeing how this is how churches see hermits, they require hermits to adhere to certain rules in order to be registered as hermits. Specifically, a hermit must publicly profess in the hands of the diocesan bishop and the 3 evangelical councils, be confirmed or sacredly bonded to the church in another way, and be observed to have an approved way of living under the bishop.
In a new location because our room was occupied by an atheist scholar, unfortunately. So now we have moved to a separate location, but we shall continue the interview. So Vic, can you tell us some hardships in being a Catholic hermit?
It is hard for me to come in contact with my family and loved ones. Many of my good friends haven't spoken to me in years. It is sad because I enjoyed their company, but I am willing to give it up to be in the presence of our eternal Lord. There's a lot of prejudice against the Hermetic life. Most people don't even realize it exists. And there's a lot of people who have a negative response to being a hermit. Also, the Transcaucasian Vipers and the K's did not want to be my friends, so I was forced to move from my early location to a new location.
I understand. So, Vic, are you thinking about joining a hermitage anytime soon?
I thought about it, but I enjoy being by myself. And under the watch of Bishop Steve Ray, I already feel as though I am part of a church, so I don't feel a need to join a hermitage. I like it better by myself, in silence.
Alright, Vic, can you tell us about some happy moments in being a hermit?
Yes, one of the most joyful aspects of my life as a hermit is the opportunity God has given me to spend long periods of time in silence by myself, to practice being present to God and to my neighbor through prayer. I also enjoy counseling people and carving wooden crosses, link in the description.
This wraps up our segment with Brother Vic Arguello. We're going to send him off into the wild now. Brother Vic, it's been an honor.
Same to you.
I'm your host, Josh Davis. Until next time, farewell. I'm gonna miss him.
I miss him already.
Come back! Come back!
It is I, Vic Arguello.
He doesn't get that much interaction.